What's going on, folks? This is Mr. Apathy, Devlin James, come to you with another video. And this one may not be a quick one, since it is a heavy topic that needs to be discussed. One of the reasons I started making videos on YouTube was to share my knowledge with other men, in the hopes that I can educate as well as make them aware of the world they live in. I wouldn't be doing this channel justice if I didn't warn of one of the dirtiest, low-down tricks that women out there pull in order to trap a man. The old pregnancy trap. How many across the world have fallen into some woman's pregnancy trap? Now, before this video takes on a degree of controversy, let me make a few things clear. In regards to men that get caught up in these situations with these type of women, I'm not talking about the type of men who have unprotected sex with and ejaculate in random women. Basically, men who constantly play Russian roulette with their dicks. No, I'm talking about men who are cautious and are actually working towards something in life. These are the type of men who get into long-term relationships with one woman. And in that relationship, the girlfriend, whom they have come to love and trust, tells them that she wants to stop using condoms because she's going on the birth control pill. And it would make the sex better and more intimate if they have sex without condoms. And I'm talking about the type of women who cajole men who are typically cautious into letting down their guard, then boom, they spring the trap. Sad to say, this video was inspired by a friend and coworker who may have fallen into a pregnancy trap himself. I'm going to break down the whole situation to you guys and describe both parties, my friend and his girlfriend, in detail. And towards the end of the video, I will review all the details and show the pattern of how these women operate. My friend is now 34 years old. And in case some of you may be wondering, I did ask his permission to use his story before I made the video, and he was generous to give me a wealth of information. Back to the subject. My friend had no children prior to his current girlfriend, and he has a steady job and lives alone. He has his own apartment. His girlfriend is now 30 years old, and they've been together for over a year, almost 2. She told him that when she was in her early 20s, she had cervical cancer, and she had surgery. She recovered from the cancer, but her chances of getting pregnant were slim to none. My friend was under the impression that if he were to stay with her for the long run and ever wanted to have kids with her, that she would have to be on fertility pills. They'd have to try repeatedly. Imagine how surprised he was when all of a sudden, poof, she turned up pregnant. And he was really shocked because, according to him, he'd been cautious with his dealings with her. He used condoms most of the time. But unfortunately, it only takes that one time. Now, some of you may be asking, was this a trap on her part, or just a result of one accidentally slipping past the goalie? Well, let's look at her credentials. Now, I told you about my friend and how he has a steady job and his own apartment. She was living with her parents before moving in with him. As far as a job, she only makes a fraction of what he makes a year, as some teacher's aide. She also has a good singing voice, from what he says, whatever the hell that means. The long and short of it is that this girl really doesn't have much going on, and from what he told me, she wasn't working towards anything either. That's the first way to spot women that set pregnancy traps for men. They usually don't have a lot going on in their lives. And I'm just going to jump into the meat of this video so it doesn't drag on. Another thing to look at is age. She's 30 years old. In my opinion, and from what I've observed, when women get around the age of 25 and into their 30s, this is when they're really thinking about kids and marriage. In most cases, it's the women in these age groups that tend to set pregnancy traps for men. And the closer they get to 30, the more diabolical they can become. Once again, this is my opinion. The main way to spot the type of women that set pregnancy traps is what I mentioned earlier. There's usually some elaborate story on how or why she'll have issue bearing children. This is the main weapon they get you with to let your guard down and have unprotected sex with them on the regular. This should be an immediate red flag. My ex even tried this with me. She actually asked me if I could go to the gynecologist with her to get some test results. And it turns out that she had fibroids, which grow near the fallopian tubes and make it next to impossible to get pregnant. I was sitting there when her doctor told us both. On the way home, she broke down right away because she wanted kids. Then right after that, I noticed that she became more sexual and didn't want to take the precautions we usually took. This set off a number of alarms in my head. To me, the whole situation was way too elaborate, and I didn't feel comfortable. She went through too many lengths, taking me to her doctor with her, so I can hear it directly from the horse's mouth. Then hopefully I'll become less cautious, more reckless sexually, and maybe end up slipping one past the goalie. Afterward, she would have me because I'd be trapped after she got pregnant. This is how my mind was thinking at the time. Now, it didn't work because I actually took more precautions than before. Then 2 months later, the relationship was over. Back to the topic at hand. Not all women go through such elaborate schemes. The main trap is the birth control trap. Then you have other women that will say, "Oh, I'm using the IUD," or "My tubes are tied." Anytime you hear one or all of these things out of a woman's mouth, you should be concerned. I'm going to wrap this video up by running through the traits and characteristics of the women who try to get men with the old pregnancy trap. 1. They're usually women who don't have much going on in their lives. They have no real plan for their future or any type of ambition. Or they're caught in the midst of some great financial turmoil. 2. They may be around the age of 25 to their early or mid-30s and beyond. 3. They want a long-term girlfriend-boyfriend relationship which will result in marriage, and they see you as the provider type. 4. After about 3 or so months of dating, this woman may tell you guys that she wants both of you to get tested so you can stop using condoms and have more quote-unquote intimate sex. 5. She may say that she's going on the pill, or she may give you that elaborate, "Oh, I can't get pregnant anymore because I had cervical cancer, or fibroids, or I had my tubes tied." 6. Finally, they will kill you with sex, giving you more than you can handle once you let your guard down, until one day, oops. Ultimately, these women want a stable provider type to take care of them, since they can't do it themselves, and they employ the laziest way possible to trap and keep a man by getting knocked up. Men, watch out for these types of women. Be on guard. It's unfortunate what happened to my coworker. Personally, I think it was a trap. He himself is not sure. I did advise him to make sure that the child is 100% his before signing the birth certificate. Anyway, that does it for this video. Now I apologize if it was all over the place. Just trying to squeeze a lot of information into a video I really didn't want running too long. This is Mr. Apathy, Devlin James. I really hope this video helps you men and boys out there. Keep watching. More videos to come. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe.